5 rising stars to watch at the Australian Open. Foot Alex Eala, learner Tien, Victoria Mboko. The opening Grand Slam tournament of 2026 is just days away, and all eyes will be on who lifts the title at the Australian Open this year. However, while the focus may be on the biggest names and leading title contenders in Melbourne, there are plenty of rising stars across both the men's and women's singles draws who will be looking to make a significant impact. Hey, we pick our 5 rising tennis stars to watch at the 2026 Australian Open, which begins on Sunday, January 18th. 12 months ago, Mboko was not ranked high enough to enter Australian Open qualifying. Now, she enters the 2026 event as a top 20 seed and an outside contender for the title. The 19-year-old surged up the WTA rankings thanks to a string of ITF titles in the opening months of last year, though she well and truly propelled herself into the upper echelons with her Canadian Open and Hong Kong Open titles in the second half of 2025. Reaching a new career-high ranking of 17th this week, Mboko has just missed out on a top 16 seed in Melbourne, though her Canadian Open run last summer saw her beat 4 Grand Slam champions, suggesting any ranking or draw placement will not deter her. A clean ball striker, with a game that should work well in these conditions, the Canadian is one to watch on her debut at the Happy Slam. The Czech did not recapture those heights during the second half of the season, but still enters 2026 ranked inside the top 20. And all eyes will be on whether he can progress further across the coming 12 months. Mensik has suffered a string of tight, often 5-set defeats at Grand Slams, and a notable run at a major has not yet come for the 20-year-old, though a string of withdrawals means he is well placed in Melbourne, as a top 16 seed in the men's singles draw. With a strong serve and incredible ball-striking ability, could this be the Grand Slam where Mensik makes the second week for the first time? WTA, Iva Jovic. Current ranking, number 30, 29th seed. Best AO result, Round 2, 2025. Jovic was ranked just inside the top 200 when she made her Australian Open debut in 2025, though she will be seeded at a Grand Slam for the first time in Melbourne this year. The 18-year-old's run to a first WTA Tour title in Guadalajara last September helped Jovic crack the top 40 after consistent rises earlier in the year, and she has since consolidated herself in a strong position. The American is now at a career high of 30th in the WTA rankings and will be the 29th seed at the opening Grand Slam tournament of the year. Jovic made it to the second round last year before defeat to Elena Rybakina, but, after an impressive rise since then, will be looking to make the third round of a Grand Slam for the first time and looks well placed to do so. ATP, Lena Tien. Current ranking, number 27, 25th seed. Best AO result, R4. 2025. 12 months on from a remarkable breakout run inside Melbourne Park, can Tien kickstart further breakthroughs in 2026 with another strong Australian Open campaign? Tien was a qualifier in Melbourne 12 months ago but memorably progressed to round 4, stunning Daniil Medvedev on the way, and backed that up with a remarkable 2025 campaign. The American picked up 5 top 10 wins across the year and reached his first final at the China Open in September, before lifting his first ATP Tour title at the Moselle Open. Victory at the next-gen ATP Finals last month cemented Tien's place as one of the ATP's hottest prospects, and, with the star set to be seeded at a major for the first time, all eyes will be on whether the 20-year-old can embark on another impressive campaign down under. Though she has never previously progressed past the first round of qualifying in Melbourne, Eala will be one of the unseeded stars that the seeded players hope to avoid early on. The Filipina's 2025 breakthrough season was truly remarkable and, after winning her first Grand Slam main draw match at the US Open last year, will be eyeing the chance to break further new ground down under. Eala started her year strongly with a run to the last 4 of the Auckland Open last week, and sits a new career-high ranking of 49th in the world heading into the opening major of 2026. Having beaten the likes of Madison Keys, Yelena Ostapenko, and Iga Swiatek last year, the 20-year-old will be one to watch at the Australian Open. The Australian Open is more than just the first Grand Slam of the year. It's a global stage where tennis's future frequently announces itself, where the young, talented, and fearless challenge veterans, disrupt expectations, and introduce the world to personalities who will shape the sport's next decade. In 2026, as players gather in Melbourne Park under summer's blazing sun and the roar of passionate fans, a group of rising stars stands out, not just for their rankings, but for the stories they carry, the styles they bring, and the spark they ignite when they step onto the court. From the disciplined artistry of a Southeast Asian phenom to a Canadian powerhouse with steamrolling groundstrokes, here are 5 young talents worth watching closely at this year's Australian Open. 1. Alex Eala, the Filipino trailblazer. For millions of tennis fans in Southeast Asia, Alex Eala is more than just a player. She is a symbol of possibility. Born in Manila, Philippines, Alex's journey is one marked by ambition, cultural pride, and an ever-evolving game that blends tactical savvy with creative shot-making. A game that reflects her spirit. Eala's tennis is defined by her all-court awareness, rarely caught flat-footed, varied shot selection, slices, drops, and angles deployed with strategic intention, mental resilience, often the calmest in pressure moments. At just 20 years old, she has already defied expectations for players from countries without a long tennis tradition. Her rise wasn't just about talent, but also about vision and hard work. Australian Open aspirations. In Melbourne, many eyes will be on Eala's opening rounds, where her tactical creativity can unsettle higher-ranked opponents. Baseline exchanges, where her consistency and court sense shine. Transitions to the net, a part of her game that adds a chess-like layer to rallies. Beyond wins and losses, watching Eala compete is witnessing a cultural milestone. Her progress inspires young athletes across Asia-Pacific and reinforces that tennis excellence is global, not just Euro-American. 2. Tien, the Californian cannon. There's an intensity in the way Tien moves, hits, and competes that's both refreshing and slightly intimidating, even for his peers. From his base in Southern California, Tien has developed into a player who doesn't just attempt winners, he commands them. In a sport where patience often pays dividends, Tien blends aggression with timing that feels almost preternatural for someone so young. The power and precision combo. Tien stands out full. Heavy ground strokes that push opponents back. Fast court coverage, especially for a big hitter. Aggressive instincts under pressure, never shying from pivotal points. Unlike many who rely on